Let's go. Showtime. Now we go.
Are you going to bring us in, or should I?
I'll bring us in. Welcome to the first of many streams focused on Graphite Lab, our games, and the people that make them. My name is Matt Raithel. I'm the studio director and owner of the shop, and I'm here with John Mikula. John, you want to introduce yourself and say hello?
Yeah, sure. I'm John Mikula. I work for Matt. I
the other way around.
Primarily, do programming at Graphite Lab as a senior programmer, but every now and then I get to do something a little more creative in the game design field.
Nice. Yeah, man. Well, I'm excited to be on the stream with you. Excited. It's been so long since we've done one of these. The last time I remember was doing this with our first original property, Hive Jump, which came out years and years and years ago. I don't know if you remember any of those streams. Do you remember being on any of those?
God, I remember we did like an all-day, like, was it like when the Kickstarter ended? We did like an all-day kind of streamathon thing.
Yeah.
And we had like Raise the Dead folks on, a couple other like kind of Kickstarter people we were, launching with. And I remember doing some of that, but man, yeah, it's been years and years now.
Been a long time. Yeah, that was a good stream. I don't know if I was on the back half of that one, but it was good to get other dev teams in on a stream. When you're in something like Kickstarter, it really feels like a small community of just your kind of fellow Kickstarter people. So it was cool to have them. Getting some notes about my static. Do we need to change something? Okay, we're gonna mess with some audio here. While our tech is making some adjustments, I'll be a little bit quiet for a second. And
no, you keep...
Okay, keep talking. Change of plan. But Hive Jump then led into a lot of other work for hire properties and projects. Give or take 3, 4, maybe even 5 years later, developed another original game called Combinera, which came out last year, and then that led into what we're going to be streaming about for the next couple of months, which is Mr. Run and Jump. And so I don't know if you want to lay just a little bit of the land as far as Mr. Run and Jump goes, and then we'll get into some gameplay and other chats. What do you say?
I figured, I'll give a little bit of like a history lesson real quick. Mr. Run and Jump, your fast-paced precision platformer, started out as a side project that I was doing, maybe about like 2015. Like, it's been kind of a long time. It's been kind of on the stove cooking for,
that was kind of around the time we were working on Hive Jump, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Its genesis was as an Atari 2600 game. I got into kind of that homebrew scene. Developers kind of taking old hardware and doing kind of like raw assembly and kind of, flipping through like original manuals and kind of learning how to, actually write code and develop games for those like classic consoles.
Sure.
At the time, I was playing a lot of like NES games, and I'm like, just kind of boning up on the classics, right? So I was like, man, I knew homebrew games were a thing, and I'm just like, oh man, I bet I could do something cool on the NES. And I had a bunch of NES ideas and stuff like that, but then digging into it, I'm like, what about the 2600? And I had kind of an idea of like, what if I like did something kind of small and cheap and easy on the 2600, and then transitioned into doing something maybe a little more ambitious on the NES, and I had kind of this master plan where I'm like, oh, I could go like every console generation and make, a game on there, and have a whole line of games, these like faux classic games that span all of gaming history. But
sure,
of course that never happens, right? Like, I get fixated on Mr. Run and Jump.
Well, you still got some years left. You're a young guy. You can make your PS1 game eventually.
I would love to. But I have that kind of neuroticism where it's like, I'm not gonna start, on Fast and Furious 10. I gotta go all the way back. I gotta watch, 1 through 9 first, because I want to live that adventure, right?
Sure.
I want to earn the 10th movie. And in a weird way, I kind of felt the same thing, where it's like, am I gonna jump straight into the NES? Like, let me do the first one first. Even though, I don't know, it technically maybe not the first home console or whatever, but that was what was kind of going through my mind.
Well, we don't need to. No shade on the Magnavox Odyssey, but I don't think we need to go back that far.
Probably not.
Right on.
But anyway, so so Mr. Run and Jump, like I wanted to do something simple and something that gave me a lot of like flexibility in design terms. So I kind of cooked up this kind of platforming framework for that game, and I had kind of this scoring system that kind of emphasized speed, and just kind of, it'd be a thing like you'd work on it for like 4 weeks and then take the next like 3 months off, and then another couple weeks say like, oh, I should finish that thing, and then 6 months later you get to so it wasn't until maybe like 2021 that the game maybe itself was totally done.
Sure. And this is the 2600 version you're talking about.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still talking about classic, the classic Mr. Run and Jump, and then that's around the time Graphite Lab. We were doing Combinera, a puzzle platformer about combining balls into one big ball, and there's like 300 levels and all that stuff. So
it's a big one, yeah, for sure.
But I wasn't on that core team. I was doing something else at Graphite. But when I saw Combinera, we posted some footage of it internally. I'm like, man, this thing looks good. It was one of those moments where I was really impressed by our team, and I'm like, oh man, like these guys are really killing it with this thing. And I'm like, I don't know, seeing that, and then me working on trying to finish up Run and Jump. I think just the formula was there. I was like, ooh, like,
yeah, for sure.
Could, take this jar of peanut butter and this other jar of jelly and put them on the same slice of bread, and magic happens. So
just wait till we put that peanut butter with marshmallow fluff, which is the ideal combination. If you haven't tried it, you should.
I've heard people swear by like a dollop of like cream cheese in the middle.
Witchcraft and heresy. No, never. No, can't do that. You don't know what creatures you'll create. Yeah, well, that's a good intro. Thanks for. I think in a future stream we will get deeper into that kind of origin story. We'll look at kind of the classic kind of mode a little bit more, the classic version, and talk a little bit about how this thing kind of came together. I'm messing a little bit with my audio. I don't know how that sounds. We got a few people in chat. Professor Beans, good to see you here. Let me know if my audio still sounds static.
Sounds okay to me.
Sounding good? Yeah. You may have just had a few in chat that weren't getting it. Cool. Well, I'm excited to spend kind of the next hour digging into Mr. Run and Jump. And if you're ready, I'll kick over. I've got it up here on my screen, so I'll be kind of the driver today, and we'll kind of give everybody a little bit more of a first look. And I'll ask you some questions as I'm going through it, and we'll kind of see how it goes. How's that sound?
That sounds great to me.
All right, man, let's get into it. Let me get this going. It's a nice juicy title screen, John. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, came out good.
Yeah.
Do you want to mess with the bloom settings actually?
Yeah,
Looks
yeah.
like maybe we're on full bloom. I think.
Yeah, let me knock this down a little bit, like a 70.
Yeah, that's typically where we kind of do video with.
Yeah. Let's see. That looking good. I don't know if it impacts the title screen. It looks like it's still pretty bloomy. Let me drop it to like nothing.
Oh yeah, do nothing.
Because that's actually still got some bloom to it, right?
Yeah, it used to be. Yeah. This
Okay.
is the 0 to 100 is
Okay.
not the full actual range of 0 to 100.
Right on.
Anyway.
Cool. So we've got a kind of an overworld map here. This is the Violet World. You want to tell us anything about Violet World and kind of how it comes to be?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Mr. Run and Jump, the premise is, Mr. Run and Jump is kind of this abstract character who lives in this abstract, world of color and light known as the realms of color, and luminescence. Through the game, you kind of go through each realm is represented by a different color, and you kind of work your way up like the colors of the rainbow. So we start here in the violet realm, and then the next one's going to be blue, and then you as it gets to the red realm, it gets harder and harder.
Nice. All right, well,
but yeah, the violet realm, it's a big garden, so we'll see a lot of flowers and petals and nice big fluffy clouds and all kinds of things like that.
feels simultaneously inviting, but just a little bit imposing. Nice bold color scheme. How's the audio? Is it you still able to hear me okay if I'm running around and jumping and stuff?
I actually don't get audio with our stream setup.
Okay.
I hear you, but I don't hear the game.
Okay. We're gonna change a few
So
things.
you'll have to tell me if something exciting happens with the sound, I guess.
Okay. No problem. We're gonna do some messing with a little bit of audio stuff here. One moment. No, you're fine. We've got so I'll take this moment, if you guys can hear me, to say thanks to Kat, our EP wizard here, setting up all of our streams and stuff and working through things on the fly. So we're changing some sound devices real quick. One moment.
If anyone, if there are questions in the chat, feel free to pipe up, and we'll see what we can do. We're trying to, because we're gonna do a streaming setup like this every week. We're kind of limiting, what we're talking about at any given time. So, but if questions arise, people really want to know, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, man. Is it still sounding bad?
You're a little crunchy.
Too crunchy?
Crunchy, yeah.
Never too crunchy. Love it. Love crunchy.
Yeah.
I love a crunch bar. That's pretty good.
Put some crunch in your peanut butter and cream cheese.
Ooh, there you go. Peanut butter jelly. Put some Rice Krispies in there. In the middle. You get that texture, that extra like pop and crisp.
I can't say I'm too turned off by the Rice Krispie edition. I feel like, you got Rice Krispie treats. So it's...
you want to go really nuts. Yeah, take 2 Rice Krispie treats, peanut butter, jelly, There you go.
That's okay. I'm gonna be a little bit crunchy for this one, so that'll just be our inside joke. So I'll play, and John, I might have you do a little bit more of the narration, but I'm just gonna kind of bop around and talk. John, you want to talk a little bit about just like our general move set of what we're gonna be dealing with here?
Yeah, sure. So you know, as you know, this is the first level we're looking at. So you have your whole move set available to you at the very start of the game, but we kind of slowly introduce some of those mechanics over the first couple levels. You know, right off the bat, you know, you can run, you can jump. We have double jumps, we have dives, we have rolls, we have long jumps, you know, kind of a wide set of jumping options. That's a roll. You know, you hold the crouch button and then move left or right. That gets you into a rolling posture. Here we have the first enemy of the game. These are the Skullkin. You know, one of many. This was an enemy in the original, you know, Mr. Run and Jump, that translated very nicely to kind of this updated version that we're doing. Probably the simplest enemy outside of just like you know, a patch of spikes, but these guys just kind of move back and forth. The game is it's a one-hit kill style of platformer, kind of like a Celeste or a Meat Boy, you know. So this kind of makes the game have a precision quality to it. You really have to, you know, one mistake and you have to restart the whole room again.
Yeah. I do like that, like just the quickness at which it like respawns. Like for me as somebody who likes to play games pretty quick, it feels good. Like I can take, you know, a hit and keep moving and come back into it really quickly and just kind of keep going. So if it gets into those,
yeah, rapid respawn was definitely a priority of ours.
For sure. Yeah, it feels good.
You don't want to. Yeah, for something where you're potentially dying so quick, you know, you don't want to spend like that quarter second even.
Yeah.
So we don't even bother. There's no animation there. There's no fade in, fade out. It's just bam, you're back.
Yeah. I say that comment as though I've like never played this game, or you know, I'm like, oh, that feels really good. I've been playing this for like months and months, and it's good because the team involved with this game spent months making sure it's good. So I'm kind of patting us on the back here with that comment, but yeah, you guys did good work.
Thank you. So, you know, as we're going through the level one kind of, yeah, Matt's kind of using like high jumps and long jumps and things like that. But,
yeah,
you know, the game's kind of customizing you or acclimatizing. You're getting accustomed to using wall jumps, you know, like you'll see right here. Slide on the wall, do a wall jump. And then we have double jumps, you know, just like that right there. And yeah, you know, not too bad. Nice and simple.
Yeah.
But even as soon as level 2, we get into utilizing some of the more complicated jumps, I guess.
Yeah. I'm gonna go through this
one.
one.
What do you want to do? Do you want to do?
I'm gonna go
show like level 2, or just stick with level 1, or what?
So we can go into level 2, but I just kind of wanted to. I was kind of going through this one a little bit more slowly, and just kind of like bopping around. But I think
you want to like pop into like a challenge room or something.
Yeah, I think I'll look at like some of the challenge rooms, and I've been skipping things like, you know, Mr. Watch and Learn, which, you know, an interesting character that we added a little bit late in the development that makes it comfortable for single player to just jump in and kind of learn a little bit as you go. Talking about the shards and other things like that. So I think there's some of those characterizations and things in the game that we added late that really helped bring some charm to it as well. What I was going to say is just going through this one with a little bit more quickness versus just the first time doing things like that. Not what I meant to do. But if you're trying to like get into some of these areas or over some of these guys, you know, the first time you play it, it might just be jumps and double jumps. You get used to this moveset, and you're going to be leaping and diving and rolling, and I think for guys like me that like to play through it really quickly, I hope that there's I hope that all of the attention put on those mechanics shows well for players like that. So
yeah, the game really pushes the player to use kind of their whole tool set, and in a way, you know, I kind of thought about our like the character's moveset kind of as almost like a combo system.
Yeah,
is kind of what I've been calling it, where it's like, you know, a lot of your moves you can really chain together, and the game will kind of force you to do this. You know, you will kind of do like a jump to a wall jump to a double jump to a dive. You know, you can do a long jump to a dive to a double jump to a wall jump to another dive. Like, so really, like, chaining kind of these kind of primary moves together to span like these massive distances or really tight, you know, just wall covered tunnels or spike covered tunnels, you know. Really like weave your way through all kinds of monsters and traps and stuff like that. So I've been calling it like an expressive, you know, platforming system, and I think that's you know, definitely exciting and really apt.
I think like when I'm trying to go through this quickly, like looking just at like getting up here, so like you got your double jump, you can wall jump, but you're probably gonna die. Lead it with a high jump, and then you can get over. There's so many different. What was I trying? There we go. Like if you're really trying to shave seconds off playing this game or get through it quickly, it's like finding the fastest way to get through some of these, you know, very tricky tunnels. It really does make it feel like kind of like a combo system or a little bit of a language of like trying to, you know, kind of get around all these things. So in the room I'm in, I guess we should kind of mention these challenge rooms. Also something that kind of got added a bit later in development, right? Or were they in from the beginning? Maybe it was just we added a little bit of like visual treatment to them. I know we were kind of messing with these pretty late in the game, but they're a pretty nice value add, just like, you know, up in the ante, making it more difficult, really being able to play around with the platforming mechanics.
Yeah, well, the idea here was, so we kind of have three, well, the primary collectible of this game is orbs, and there are three types of orbs you get. One of which is what Matt got, you know, in that room there, the red swirly ball of energy. That's a challenge orb, and those are specifically in challenge rooms, we call them, and those are they're meant to be a like noticeable step up in difficulty compared to the level around them. So we're still early in the game here, but compared to what we're doing outside of this room here, you know, this is kind of a big challenge for the player by this point. So we have challenge orbs. We have each level has a shattered orb, which you have to collect all of the shards in a level, which are the like the blue little triangles that have been scattered around. If you collect all of those in a level, the idea is they all kind of come together and kind of create, you know, another orb for you. And then after you beat a level, you can replay it with a time trial mode enabled. And if you can complete the time trial under a certain, you know, amount of time, you get a time orb. So that's kind of the structure we were going for. And I really like, you know, I've been kind of likening it to games like Tropical Freeze or Crash Bandicoot, because like what those games do so well is that with the same level geometry, you know, just by kind of modifying what collectible you're going for, creates like 3 different unique experiences.
Sure.
So whether you're going for, you know, going for all the shards is almost kind of like a hard mode experience of the level, where you really have to kind of plumb the depths, explore every nook and cranny, do all these extra, traps and kind of, little pockets that you don't normally have to interface with in order to get all the shards. Challenge orbs are kind of their own beast, doing these specific, extra difficult precision platforming challenges. And then the time trials, you have to speed run the level, and that's like its own beast,
Sure.
Of learning all the, fastest route. So each of these 3 routes kind of creates their own, you're playing the same level 3 times, but they feel like different levels.
Sure.
It was kind of what we were going for.
Yeah, it feels good, man. I'm gonna see if I can find that 3rd challenge room. I must not have gotten it in the last run.
It's it's in the beginning here.
I think I skipped it. Yeah, when the few times that you brought up comparing it to Crash Bandicoot, I think the initial reaction is like, I think it benefits from that explanation for players hearing that, because I think as game designers we're a little bit more like we can attach. Okay, I get this one. We can attach to like a particular part of a game, like, and I think a lot of players they can kind of see that perspective once explained, but I think it's kind of a spotlight on the nuances of game design. Is like there's so many things that go into putting something like this together. And when somebody says, "Oh, it's like Crash Bandicoot," well, the initial reaction is probably like, "Well, where are all the bandicoots?" Right, but it's like there's very specific things that make that game engaging. Like the feeling of playing the same level different ways and getting that kind of replay value out of it. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, definitely. So this would be the first challenge room, and it's not an especially hard challenge, but we kind of made this one with like, well, technically the player doesn't know they can double jump unless they're like feeling around with the controls. So if you're doing it with just a single jump, it can be actually kind of hard. But
yeah, I don't even know if I can do it with a single jump.
Oh, come on, it's not too bad. But yeah, it's true. Like, so, like, I think the immediate comparison I think people might point to is maybe something like Celeste, or we were talking about Meat Boy earlier. Like those 2 games, kind of like, tough as nails, 2D platformer, rapid respawns. But really, that stuff, like, we didn't necessarily set out to make something like those games in particular. A lot of these mechanics and this kind of one-hit kill style comes from the classic version of Run and Jump, which operated the same way. And so it just happens to be like, oh yeah, you know what? Celeste is a good modern version of, these, run and jump mechanics, but
sure.
So there's still a little bit of that, with like the camera sliding, room transition we just saw there, and kind of stuff like that. But really, I think the game does have its own feel. I think if you play this and you're a fan of Celeste, I think I hope you'll be into it, but it is a different feeling experience for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, all 3 challenge rooms check. Let's see it. Boom. Well, I got the one that I was missing.
You got it this time, but if you go back to the map screen, you can see all 3.
All right, so if I hit continue, I go back to the map screen and then it updates. Nice.
Yeah. 3
cool. All right, let's see what 1-2 has to offer.
You want to do 1-2, and then maybe we go back to 1-1 and you do a speed run real quick?
I wanted to run through that level so fast for the last 10 minutes. I had to actively slow myself down and like just take it easy, because it's my instinct to go fast. I'll see if I can get all my shards here on this run. The shard gameplay really, like, I mean, I think that for me is really where the challenge comes in. Trying to get through these levels and get every shard takes a lot of patience. That is not my. I don't think people would meet me and say, "Oh, Matt's a pretty patient guy." I want to go, man. I'm ready to roll. So I find that's usually where I'll lose in games like this. Yeah. We got bounce off the flower pots. I am not able to bounce off the flower pots. What's up, Blue Hound? How are you doing? The flower pots are just nice and decorative. We kind of wanted.
We do have things you can bounce off of, but those show up in later levels.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot in this world is just decorative. The different kind of garden bits. As I'm running around, there's lots of things to make the world feel alive. But yeah, no bouncing off flower pots. It would be kind of fun. Now I'm adding scope, John. Like grab these things and like swing on them. Maybe in a sequel.
I would love run and jump too. Yeah.
Run, jump, swing.
That's kind of a thing. Is we don't do a lot of like environmental interactions like that.
Yeah.
But it would be cool.
Yeah. Ooh, new guy. Why don't you talk about the Skulkin earlier? Tell me about this guy.
These are the bullfrogs. And these are actually not in the classic game. These are because it's very tricky to get like a smooth parabola arc like that on the Atari 2600. Talking about how the bullfrogs jump, but
sure.
But yeah, I mean, kind of what you see is what you get. There's, it's like when designing enemies for run and jump, you kind of have to like, thinking about just how, like, I didn't want to have them be too complicated, right? I kind of wanted everything to do one thing and then fill the space in different ways.
Sure.
So whereas like the skull can just move in a straight line back and forth, the bullfrogs just kind of have like a path to their movement that's maybe a little less predictable and just filled it in a different way.
Yeah.
But
should I go for the challenge or no challenge?
Yeah, go for it. Why not? You're here.
What's up, E-Dog Lost? Welcome to the stream. Let's.
Dog Lost. That's kind of a theme of this game.
It's kind of a plot point, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we have Leap. Leap is the dog character. He shows up at the beginning of each level. He jumps out of the portal and then runs off, and you're kind of running after him. And he'll show up at the end here too. We'll point him out. But,
it's a lot of jumping. Nice. Funny. Made a screen name after you saw the trailer. That's pretty flattering. Thanks for saying that. We never know we're making these things of how it'll connect with the players. So that's how old I am. Man, I call it a screen name too. You're looking at a guy who cut his teeth on America Online on a floppy disk. So you can call it a screen name. Don't let anybody tell you different. What's it called now? A handle? Is that it? A handle? There's got to be some young kid in here to tell me what it's called these days.
Username? I don't know.
That's very.
I think it's just your name now. Like,
just your name. We don't.
Whatever you. It's what you. And for a lot of people, it's probably just like what they go by. Most
right?
Like most often.
I guess. Yeah.
Talking about like people, like, I don't know, hermits that don't leave the house or whatever. But.
A pen name, a username, a handle, a screen name. I like screen name. I think that was what AOL called it. Is like you have to set up a screen name. No, that's flattering. Thanks for saying that.
You don't get a free copy unless you name your kid after something in the game. You have to be like Dovahkiin in Bethesda and Skyrim.
There you go.
If you have a kid and you name him run and jump. We'll give you a free copy of everything Graphite ever makes.
Wait. Did you just say you're giving away everything Graphite makes?
A free copy. Well, that's what happened. The people that named their kid after a Skyrim thing. They get a free copy of every game Bethesda makes.
I'd probably give away all of our games for a lot less. I'm not a very good. I think you could. Oh, a little tough. Oh my gosh, a little tough. Oh my gosh, this guy's after me. Safe. John needs a volume bump. Roger that. Thanks for the heads up.
Am I too low?
Okay. Yeah, I'll be mindful of game audio too. If that's drowning anybody out.
I could turn things up on my end.
Oh, I gotcha. You're coming through our side, John. So I'll probably turn down the. Yeah. All right. Last skull counts. Ding. Did I get all the shards? Let's see. Sharded orb? Is that?
You got it. Yep.
Ooh.
That's the
Shattered.
fully assembled orb you see.
Shattered orb. I said sharded orb, and if I didn't enunciate that very quickly, I'd probably get in trouble. A shattered orb, everybody. Sharded orbs are a very different thing. Please stay away.
Higher up the Twitch, they're gonna come in here. They're gonna shut us down.
Stay away from those kind of
Raithel
orbs.
character is too blue for the Twitch audience.
Yeah,
Get him out of here.
There's no. I'm still so new to Twitch that I'm not sure what I can and can't say, so I'm gonna be pretty safe on this stream. But that was an honest mistake. Twitch police. All right, so we're in 1-3 now. I'm feeling pretty good, feeling confident. I spoke too soon. But I am excited to go back and hit up 1-1. E-Dog Lost has a com code. Did you play Combinera, E-Dog? Oh gosh, that's not how to do it. No, I did. How far did you get? I want to hear some level progress. If you finished everything, I'd be... you done better than me. Nice. I made your screen name because of Combinera. Very good. Very good. Alright, here we go. We're going low. We're going low. I like to feel the thrill, John, of dropping and jumping. None of this, like, double over stuff. It's too safe. Gotta drop.
That's what I say when I say expressive platforming is, you could go low or you can go high or you can go laterally or, But yeah, it is kind of fun to see different people play the game because I know I definitely have my route through this level.
Yeah.
And then seeing people how they approach different things, and especially making as we'd have level designers take cracks at these levels, and I'd be I would review the levels and kind of give them feedback and stuff like that, and I'd be I have no idea, this little section is completely impossible. I don't know how you get through it. And it's actually you need to dive and then double jump. And
Right.
I've been double jumping then diving. That kind of thing.
It's it's impressive how much that makes a difference, right? Just to put your character in the right spot. And oh my goodness.
Are you going for all the shards again?
I can't help myself, but this is... Anybody in chat can give me permission to move on because you're going to see me just flailing about trying to get these side shards. They're tricky for me. I don't exactly know why they're so hard for me to get.
These are some of the hardest in the game.
They're fine. Oh my gosh.
I debated. I'm should we do something with these? And I'm nah, let's leave them because these shards, they're supposed to make the game a little harder. But yeah, there's something about these shards in particular that's really, really hard.
All right, I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna focus, and I'm gonna get they're easy to get when you're coming low, but like this like little like side hop thing. All right, I think I'm gonna. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too pretty, but not too bad.
Nice. You're good.
Nice little break. Nice little side spot here. Nice little death.
Yeah, so this is kind of the tutorial point for the dive mechanic. So
there we go.
Fall and then dive. Yeah, so we achieve everything, you know, each of the jump types with just the 2 buttons, right? So we have a jump button and a crouch button.
Yeah.
So like you know, hold crouch, you know, you'll duck down, press jump. At that point, you'll do a high jump. If you hold crouch and you move, you'll start rolling.
Yeah.
And then if you jump while you're rolling, you'll do a long jump. A dive is if you're in the air and you hit the crouch button, you'll do, you know, the dive forward.
Yeah. Wait, so what button do you typically use to dive in the air? Because I do not use left bumper. I do not use left trigger. I use the X button.
I use left bumper.
Do you really?
Yeah. That's why I made him say, you know, use left bumper.
Well, that makes more sense.
That's all I use. Yeah, we made it, it's like, what, A and B jump, and then basically every other button.
Yeah.
The crouch button. So you kind of get that pick. We were kind of thinking about it like, you know, are you old school? Like Mario's Run, like you hold, you know, X or Y to, you know, to do the extra, you know, not jump move.
Sure.
Or you new school and you use the bumpers or the triggers.
Right on.
Kind of like, maybe like Rayman Origins does something with the triggers. I forget.
Another good name. E-Dog, I see you made it to level 43 on Combinera. Incidentally, I think that's the level I made it to. Got stuck, solved it, and then immediately posted a YouTube video of my solution. It's either 43 or 45, one of them. It's pretty tough. Yeah, I could see using the bumper if you're like playing games like Celeste and like you've learned that behavior. I mean, all these games, you know, comes down to those core mechanics of like, what are you pressing to do what? Yeah, stick with what works for you, what's familiar. I don't think I will find myself ever diving with the bumper. I gotta use X, which probably makes me bad at some of these areas. Might be a shortcoming. I don't know.
Have you ever played any Kaizo Mario ROM hack stuff coming from the chat? No, I have not. You know, it's like, yeah, I played Meat Boy, I played some Celeste, but typically I'm not necessarily like a super, you know, tough platforming kind of guy, you know. It just kind of like, the game kind of like just naturally evolved into this direction, but no, I have not actually messed with any like. Matt, do you even know about like Kaizo Mario?
Do I?
Yeah.
I can't say that I know.
Super hard ROM hacks, like people like remix like Mario levels, and they do like, you know, just super insane stuff. It's in like Mario Maker as well.
Sure.
Like people will do like, here's this insane level. Sometimes they have like funny tricks to them, I think, where it's like, you jump up and you block, and then
Sure.
You know, weird, you know, it's a trap, like weird stuff happens. But it kind of hits that like Meat Boy cadence where you're just like dying over and over and over again.
Yeah. No, I've not. Mario Maker and other stuff, sure, but not anything beyond that. Celeste, sure, is Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, E-Dog, I've seen, I think I've seen Grand Poo World at GDQ. I think they did some speed runs of it. So I haven't seen anything of it in years, but it's gnarly. It's crazy stuff.
Alright, I've been doing pretty good on my shards here. I'm gonna keep it up. Some of these rooms get test my patience because you've got to string together some pretty good luck.
No luck involved. That's all.
Some pretty good skill.
What you could do here, here's a little trick, is you could go into the challenge room and then just jump back out. And so all the shards you've collected so far are kind of cached. So if you were to die, you'll go back to that challenge room, and you don't have to recollect those shards. It's kind of like a checkpoint.
Pro tip. Oh, we're getting somewhere. All right, come on, Bullfrog. Almost there. Oh, we're good.
Oh boy.
Oh, we're good, Johnny. In the face. I knew that was coming.
You love Ori. From the Blind Forest. From E-Dog's talking about Ori.
Ori's great. Yeah, both of them. Yeah, Ori's beautiful. It's the Metroidvania-ness of it is really solidly paced. Yeah.
I never actually got to. I never played Ori. I own, I think, both of them. But it's one of those you pick it up and it's just like, you're playing something else and then you kind of forget about it. But yeah, those games always look really impressive. And I would love to get back to them. There's so many things, man. So many games.
So many games. Yeah, Ori, I like the way they tell story without really getting, in a whole lot of like written, kind of dialogue. They do a lot with like the motions of the character, which, Mr. Run and Jump's the character a few words, So I appreciate how they can communicate without having to just be, a lot of dialogue. So there's some cool things to learn about development from Ori as well. That's the next one. I'll just roll right into the floor. What am I doing? Where's my jump? Where's my long jump? There you go. I missed one. Yeah. The climb in the tree of the first game was more difficult. Yeah, same for me, dog. I did that last climb plenty. There were even a few jumps where I was always like, I'm not quite sure I'm even doing it the right way. So yeah, it took some time. There's a few jumps in this game where I feel like I might not be doing them exactly as intended, or if I do a different series of moves like that there, it's easier to do versus like the way that I've kind of brute forced it.
That's kind of the thing. Yeah. Sometimes like the movement options are so big in this game that like, sometimes like you have to think about it kind of like a puzzle game.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, I've tried jump, double jump, dive, but that's really not getting me where I need to be. What if I mix this up? What if it's actually a long jump, then a dive? That kind of thing.
When I play this game, I say, what does John want me to do right now, this moment? And then I try that.
That's kind of the thing, right? And we try to signpost some of that stuff. We use shards to kind of lay out, like, okay, if the shard path looks like a dive, like, that probably means we want you to dive there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
With the player assistance popping up. I was going to go do some speed runs in our next 15 minutes or so. You want to talk about the player assistance stuff at all while it's popped up here?
Yeah,
we can save it.
So, I don't know. It's here. We might as well. Real briefly, yeah, we kind of, because the game is very challenging, we added this assistance feature where we can detect how many times you've died and where you've died, and if you've died enough times in a specific area, like things start to happen. So different pickups appear. So we have checkpoint flags, which will give you kind of an extra, checkpoint. If you die, you don't start all the way back at the beginning of the room. You can start halfway through. And then if you keep, dying over and over again, you'll eventually get an invincibility star you could pick up. and that just makes you invincible for like 20 seconds or something like that. But and that'll let you kind of brute force your way through rooms that are especially hard. But then here in this menu, you know, we're giving you the option, like, do you want those to appear more frequently, less frequently, or never? You know.
Yeah.
So, you know, we want to push the player, right? Like we want you to go through these challenges and have, you know, fun getting better at the game. But, you know, eventually if you're like, I've died here 16 times, like, just get me through it, please. Like, you know, we throw you a bone in that regard.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna dust off my speedrunning skills. Got about 15 minutes left in the stream for today. Anyhow, let's
I still can't beat your time. Like,
should I give
there
it?
was a
Should
time
I give it a go?
was,
I give it my all, or here we're just gonna do a little warm up, right? Just a little try.
Set a baseline for sure, and then, you know, we'll give ourselves plenty of room to improve. But for a while, it was you and Matt Sinclair who was, you know, setting speedrun times for us, and you guys had like a back and forth on this level, and like you're getting it like sub 1 minute. You're getting it like, I want to say like 57 seconds or something.
There were quite a few.
And
I
have no idea how you guys are doing that.
Well, I might show you just a little bit of my tricks, but I have to give props to Matt and also Kyle, who's on the testing team for this one. I think, you know, iron sharpens iron, John. So does one speedrunner sharpen another. So I definitely picked up some tricks from the two of those guys. So just a little cozy run through this one, you know. There we go, just, you know, rolling through the realms of color. Casual pace. Not trying to break a sweat. Not trying to break my face on any spikes. You know, just a nice...
We award like different color time orbs based on the time you get. So like our bottom tier is like a silver orb, and then there's gold, and then platinum. So okay, like a comfortable silver orb time.
All right.
Not too bad.
Now we're gonna crack our knuckles just a little bit more. I can do better. You can
do way better.
All right. All right, so we're gonna give it a little bit of a go here. Put on a little bit more gas. We're gonna start with something that probably doesn't change my time much whatsoever, but it helps me get in the mindset, which is to dive at the clock.
Oh man, is that Kyle in the chat?
Kyle's in the chat.
Oh,
hey Kyle, it's good to see you, man.
One of our level designers.
Just doing a few jumps, not trying to take any skulls to the face.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Well, you know, sometimes, you know, death isn't so bad, right? Because of that rapid respawn.
It's not gonna make me cry, but you don't want to be. You don't want to be
ideally
dying.
You want. Yeah, ideally you want no deaths, but you know, occasionally, like if you get a death like early on in a room, it's, you know, it doesn't have to be the worst. It doesn't have to be a run ender. You know? Enemies do reset on death, E-Dog, and they are on, but they are on kind of like a global timer, in that like the whole room is loaded at once. So they, like the whole room is going, you know, oh man, 1 minute. That's pretty good.
Not bad, but we can do better. I need a sub 1 for platinum.
Not bad. Professor Beans. That's Matt Sinclair, right?
Thanks for Professor Beans, yes. Yeah, current world record holder for 1-1 in Mr. Run and Jump. Professor Beans, everybody.
He's saying not bad in a sarcastic tone, I'm sure.
No, it's a command. He's telling me to do it not bad.
Not bad, Matt.
Whoa, I missed my clock.
Do
All
it
right.
not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I think it's long jumps. Long jumps are the fastest way to move, I think, and then dives are after.
Oh gosh, hit my head. You gotta be diving all the time.
Yeah. And then rolling's faster than running. High jump is faster vertically than like a double jump
gosh,
or
that
a
was bad.
wall jump or something like that. But
I can do it.
I think there's technically a tiny bit of like kickback speed when you do a wall jump, but you know, who knows if that's any faster.
I make a lot of weird faces when I'm speedrunning. Please don't screenshot me. No! Oh, I lost that run. Oh my gosh, this run's dead.
No.
This one's dead.
There's no way you're getting sub 1 now.
Lost it. Lost it. I know, Beans. You know. I was on a good run, man. It was good pace. Just skipping. Oh, law. No.
Oh, come on.
No, it was a bad start. It's bad. Washed up. Yeah. Sad. Sorry.
Run.
Pathetic. Mr. Sorry and pathetic right here.
51 seconds as the
That's fake.
Photoshop
Photoshop.
current world record time.
Oh, this is a bad run. This one's gonna be sub 1 minute, but it's not gonna be impressive. Whoa. I'm
56. I don't know how you guys were getting
all off.
so good. Such good times. I still can't get like the platinum orb on this level. But I played it like 200 times or something, you know.
As of today, I can't get a sub 1 either. It's oh, here we go. Oh my, okay.
Um,
No, you gotta understand, there is a it's like music, John. You can't slip a note. I'm a professional. And if one note is out of place, it ruins the whole song.
I'm with you. But maybe try to, for the sake of the audience, try to finish a couple of these.
Yes, sir. Oh my gosh, so bad. Well, everybody wants to see the sub 1 time, right? And because of that, we need Sinclair to play and not me.
Yeah, right.
This one's gonna work, but it is not the cleanest one I've ever done. Thanks. That was a good one. That was a little bit sloppy. That was a good one. Oh, we're getting there, Johnny.
You think so? We're already at 42 seconds.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, we're probably not going to do it on this one. Maybe. Not going to happen.
See, that's a great way to go in that section.
Oof. Hey, thanks for pausing that time when I die, buddy. That's,
Yeah.
ooh, bad.
So if you ever need to like wipe the sweat off your hands, you know, or whatever, like, you know, when you die.
So bad. That's so bad. We're going to get it. This is the one. This is the one. Spamming the long jump is helpful, I agree. I think the dive actually pulls you faster a little bit more. But the long jump, I feel like I can control its pace a lot more. Because for some reason the dive, I don't know. Because it bumps you up just a little bit. I don't know.
I think the long jump, I think, does have a bigger top speed. And then you're kind of locked into it for a lot longer. The dive does give you that like very quick burst, and then you get like, and then the speed does like, you know, come back down to your normal like movement speed pretty fast.
Yeah. Oh, that was a nice one. Perfect. Nice. Oh my gosh. A little slow on that one.
That's pretty good.
Not bad, but a little bit of mistakes. I think we can still pull the sub 1 here. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Not in the face.
No!
Not in the face, Matt. Oh, now see, it's all bad. It's all bad. My life is terrible. I'm gonna give up. Oh,
That was
not so easy to
heartbreaker.
describe over text, especially latency. Yeah, for sure. No, that's fair.
You were saying high jump, dive combo to skip some platforms and something.
That's what we're talking about right there. Okay.
Yeah, that high jump is I think, it can be easy to overlook, but yeah, it does get you up in the air really fast.
Yeah, it
You
gets
just
you in
don't
the
have a
right.
lot of like air control with it.
Can put you in the right spot on a lot of these. Like right there, you can get over that guy.
Yeah, like that.
Oh man,
A
that's,
little cleaner in that room. Really good.
yeah.
But yeah, you can do a nice high jump, jump, dive combo in there, maybe bypass all of all.
It's just sloppy. It's sloppy. Sloppy. I think the third last room is one spot. Yeah, that very last room that's really tall. That's one where seeing a different route saves like a second or two for sure. Because I was doing a long jump across the bottom and trying to come up, but if you stop and do the high jump, you're gonna save a few seconds. So I really hope that as more people play it and kind of show these paths. Like I think there's a sub 50 time for sure on this level. I'm not seeing it right now.
I can't even. I think you're right, and I'm more excited about that than anything when this game does launch. To see just how people massacre these levels will be hopefully very exciting. To watch to see like actually if you just mash all the buttons with your palm, it teleports you straight to the end. It's
That's right.
Real weird. Some weird bugs like that,
Right. Oh boy, a little slow. A little slow. Oh, my hand's getting tired. Out of shape, John. Hands are tired. That was nice.
Yeah, I wonder if your
It's so good.
your commitment to the X button dive is well, I don't know. I was gonna say doing you in a little bit, but
It probably is.
A whole extra finger you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about like rolling your thumb off a jump onto dive. It's just right here.
Now I've trained myself of a certain way. I can't untrain myself. I'm committed to the committed to it. Alright, this is the run, John. Oh no, it's so bad.
Heartbreaker.
Heartbreaker. Oh, so slow. Just taking my time.
Cat, the thing doesn't end until the map gets sub 1 minute.
That's not true. I gotta leave it on a cliffhanger. Does he get the sub? Whoa, that was close. That was close. Oh yeah. Go RJ.
Nice.
How we looking, John?
Ooh.
He's gonna die.
Oh.
That was it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
See, if you just did that, you'd be in a pretty good spot.
Ooh. All right. Well, it's probably a good time to stop there with that failure. It'll leave us something on the next episode to strive for.
Here, hit the Y button. Let's see your times.
We got a 119, just strolling through the park. A 105, which I just pulled off while I writhed in pain and made all kinds of knee-jerk reactions to get that 105. And then that 1 minute where I just kind of didn't freak out and just kind of, got through it. I think, honestly, I'm trying so many little shaves, here and there that I think if you just play a real tight 1-1, you can get the sub 1 without having to do fancy stuff, but
Yeah, maybe you need well, yeah, I don't know. Are you on little shave territory yet, or is routing more important? Like maybe you gotta you gotta know what jumps you're doing when, and then you can really shave time off.
I think you need to, you got to have the right route first, and then you're just trying to perfect it. And I don't think by any means I've got the right route figured out for that one. But I think my load time is, I mean, it's sub a minute. It's in the 50s, but it's not. I think Sinclair still has a few seconds on me. Kyle might too. I don't know. I thought I got into second place at one point, but Kyle might have. So.
Yeah, don't know.
Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on this first of many streams. We'll be back here next Friday at 5 Central. We'll be talking about the art some more. We'll be talking about the tech some more. We'll be talking about the classic game in an upcoming stream. We'll have some fine folks from Atari pop in and talk a little bit about that collaboration. And there'll be some other announcements as the weeks go by, as we lead up to launch, that we'll be excited to share with you. And I want to say thanks again to Kat for setting all this stuff up. Coming from the other guy that says screen name, I'm an old dude and I can't set up all this fancy Twitch stuff. So Kat, thanks for all your help there. I think Kyle has me beat, doesn't have Sinclair beat. I will leave that trophy in your hands, Kyle. We'll see what I can get on an upcoming stream. Cool. We need ideas of who to raid. Kat's asking. So Kyle, Beans, E-Dog, any ideas of who to raid? Hit up Kat, creativity in chat. And what were you gonna say, John?
Nothing. Just a thank you to everybody who was watching, and yeah, this was fun, and hopefully we didn't ramble too much. Hopefully we didn't embarrass ourselves too badly, and but I had fun, and yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. We'll cook up a good topic to talk about, and yeah, it'll be fun.
Sounds good. And I will struggle against that sub 1 minute time for just a little bit, probably. You have that to look forward to. If you like seeing me in anguish, tune in. Cat's gonna get somebody to raid. I don't think people say tune in anymore either.
I was thinking about that because I've been saying that a lot.
Tune in or stay tuned?
Stay tuned, I've been saying. But
do you hear me say it? Like I say it a lot.
You do, yeah. Now that I think about it, you do say that a lot.
I got it from somebody. I never said that growing up, and I'd never used the phrase. It was Devin Shatsky, who was our producer on Ben 10 with Konami. So he was a producer at Konami, and I'd be like, "Hey, Devin, I need these assets from Cartoon Network or something." He'd be like, "I'll get them. Stay tuned." And I was like, I kind of looked at it with like a bit of a, nobody says stay tuned anymore, man. Like, what are you saying? But I picked it up after that. So you have Devin Shatsky, producer at Konami, to thank for that one. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Kat's got the raid target. So thanks everybody. We'll catch you next week.
Stay safe.
See ya.